Here on Now Let's Review, we really enjoy reviewing e-mobility products. And the best part about the future is that e-mobility keeps getting cheaper, and not just for the young and spry, but also for older people.
Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
We're going to be reviewing the iScooter X01Mobility Scooter right now. So like you said in the beginning, as people get older, they may not be able to ride, e-bikes like we've been doing and scooters and stuff, but you can ride these. And in fact, as I'm getting older, I'm glad they make these kind of things. So I just want to get right into the first thing on the list, which is price. I thought something like this would be up over $1,000.
Definitely.
And I saw that, it depends on where you go. You can get it on Walmart, you can get it on Amazon, but the X01, which is a three-wheeled scooter, is right now, I think, $699.
And that's really good. E-mobility devices have typically always been over $1,000 at least. It's nice that they're able to take a bunch of components, I wouldn't say directly from e-bikes, but definitely the batteries.
The battery, the motors. Yeah.
So you have a lithium-ion battery, which is really nice. It's going to give you a lot more extra range than a lead acid, and it's going to be a lot lighter. So this makes the e-mobility device a lot better, in my opinion, than some of the much older versions of them, the ones that maybe you saw when you didn't need one. So I think that that's one of the biggest things is price, but also weight. So this weighs 94 pounds. As you see it right now.
Which is amazing because some of our e-bikes weigh that.
Now the battery is removable.
Now it sounded like you broke it, but that's just because there's Velcro in it, right?
That's true,
the
yeah.
Little feet or something? Okay,
there's two pieces of Velcro. I think it's to keep it from rattling.
Yep.
This is actually pretty heavy in itself. That's obviously the battery.
Oh, that's like 20 pounds.
So you could take quite a bit of weight. Let's try lifting it without the battery in it now.
Okay. That's way different.
It's still heavy, but it is lighter.
Yeah, because I want to talk about why you might need to lift it.
Yes.
A couple uses. One would be onto the back of a vehicle. If you have one of those cargo hitches, many people don't know about this, but you can get them. You don't have to have some special degree to do it. You can just go to Harbor Freight and put one on the back of your car if you have a hitch. If you don't have a hitch, you can have someone install a hitch. And that means that you could, with a ramp, without even having to lift it, drive it onto that.
Yes.
Or couple people could lift it onto it, which is great.
But this could fit into an SUV, and I'll show you why. So first of all, the seat is completely removable, which would remove some more weight as well.
That's true.
So we could take that out.
Yeah, what is that, like 10 pounds?
It's probably about...
It's like 10?
Yeah. So now this is even lighter, and the other thing you can do with a little twist of magic here, you can...
Oh, and can we take the basket off too?
And the basket is removable as well.
Look at that. That is way smaller.
So that, I would say, is close to trunk fit ability.
I think that's trunk fit ability on many, many cars. Also, definitely SUV.
So that's bordering on the liftable, if I may say so.
Yeah.
That's really nice and compact.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. One of probably the best parts of it is the size and the weight. Now, obviously, you still have the basket, the seat, and the battery to contend with, but they're each a little bit more manageable. And so instead of needing a 30-year-old like me to carry this around for you, you might be able to get away with it if you're a little bit older and you're caring for your significant other who probably can't lift this at all.
Yeah, let's get into some more specs and features, right? I guess the first one I want to point out, we just mentioned at the beginning, it's three-wheeled. You can get four-wheeled scooters, and so one of the things I want you to be looking at in this review is whether this is right for you or whether you want to go four-wheel. What would be the advantage of three?
A tighter turning radius is probably the biggest advantage, as well as a little bit in the weight department.
Okay, so we tested the turning radius. Let's go take a look at that. I think it's about 7 feet, which means that you can't turn within the aisle of most grocery stores without doing a 3-point or 4-point turn. So just know that. You would have to go to the end of the aisle and drive around something else and come back if you wanted to do it effortlessly. Otherwise, you can back up on this machine, and let's show that.
So as you can hear, it has a backup noise. That is good because it alerts people behind you that you're backing up, but it is kind of annoying because you might not want to start to back up because the beeping is rather loud.
Jesse's really good at this. He likes to cut wires. So are there wires on this that you could cut?
It's actually remarkably easy. Let me just show everybody. Now that we've got it nice and light, I can kind of do this. So in the bottom of the unit back here, there's a little dangling speaker.
Wait, did you loosen that or something?
Nope, that is the way that it comes. So
and that's the speaker?
With one I could pull it out. If you were sick and tired of it, which I think a lot of people would get.
That means you wouldn't be able to beep at people either, though.
If you were very clever, you could cut one of the legs of it, which would immediately disable it, but then you could install a switch if you wanted to. You'd have to run a bunch of wiring up to the... It would have been nice if they had done that, I have to be honest. But with that switch, you'd be able to turn on and off whether or not you wanted the backup chime. So like if you're in your house, or if you're somewhere where there aren't any other people and the beeping would just annoy you, you could do that. You could also just wrap that with some gauze. That might make it a little quieter as well.
That's true. We've done that before. If you put some tape or something around it, it'll be a whole lot quieter.
And then that way people can still hear it if they're close to you, but it doesn't sound like there's a truck backing up in the middle of the grocery store.
All right, so we talked about turn radius and the beeping, but when you were doing the turns, did you feel that it was really safe?
At slower speeds, yes. At higher speeds, well, take a look. So probably the biggest downside of this unit is turning at high speed. Because it's a three-wheel design, it's going to want to tip at higher speeds when you make a sharp turn. And if you're not expecting it, if your reaction time is a little slower, if you're heavier, all of these factors are going to kind of factor in. Even in the lowest seating position, I was able to get it to flip. I'm about 220 pounds, so people vary in size. So
what is the weight limit on this thing?
264 pounds or 120 kilograms is what they claim. I think a lot of that has to do with the seat, how the seat is made. So let's take a look at how this is made here.
Okay, so this is metal.
Yep.
The base is metal and the arms are metal.
The armrest is metal, which connects up through here. This base plate is metal, but this is all plastic. So the seat itself is plastic, including the hinge.
Oh, that should have been metal.
So this hinge is plastic. That is probably one of the weakest parts of this whole design, because if you're leaning back, if you're driving around, you might give it a little force that you shouldn't, and you might be able to crack the seat. And if you crack the seat and you were already leaning back and you don't have like amazing core strength, you're probably gonna flip back over, whack the back of your head. Now, is that definitely gonna happen? I don't know. It depends on the situation. It depends on how heavy the person is, but it is a possibility, which makes me a little bit worried in terms of what are you doing with this thing? If you're just in the grocery store, if you're on a concrete floor, I think the chances of that happening are practically zero. As soon as you start taking it off-road, as soon as you start to get close to the weight limit of this unit, that's when the danger level, I would say, increases.
Yeah, it's kind of this weird curve, right? In the beginning, you're very careful with new items, and then you get comfortable with them, and then you start doing things that you haven't done before, like going up a steeper driveway or something like that. But I do think that if you're a careful person, especially if you're not pushing close to the weight limit of this thing, you should be fine. But it's like a desk chair. You've seen kind of a lot of desk chairs that after a while get kind of worn out. I feel like that's one of the weaker parts, and why they had to keep the price down to $700. They had to, let's make this out of plastic. Let's talk about the tires. They are 8-inch solid, so you don't have to worry about filling them or anything like that. They're
no
not gonna,
popping.
They're not going to puncture. But there's no suspension on this thing. A bunch of the listings said things like rear damping. There's no suspension on this. And there really doesn't need to be for what you should be using it for. So just keep in mind that if you do hit a bump or something, you're going to feel it, but that's what this is for. It's not for off-roading. For those of you who like specs, it's a 24-volt, 250-watt motor. That doesn't really mean a whole lot, because normally you'd be like, I want more power. But here they've geared it, so it's not about that. You can take pretty much any wattage, and if you gear it right, you'll get what you need. Here, because the top speed's never going to go over 5 miles an hour, that's perfectly fine, and it really does have plenty of power. I mean, as we're going to show you right here, we were able to drive it up some hills and stuff.
Yeah, I think that this is really impressive. It means that you're going to be able to handle ramps that are probably too steep even for ADA. The other nice part about this mobility scooter is that it does have little wheels in the back, and those little wheels will keep you from tipping backwards.
Here's one of the things I liked is, I think a lot of people think you can only use these in grocery stores and at malls. And if you want to get a little more adventurous, and maybe your family's going to go into a city for lunch, the nice thing is, because it can handle a little bit of grass, a little bit of gravel, I feel like not for everyday use, but for a lot of things that might come up, you can go on those trips.
Especially if you have someone there who can help you.
Exactly.
And a lot of times you will, as long as everyone kind of understands the capability of this machine and knows where to lift it from, can have you hop off, or whoever the person is hop off, and then it's so movable that even going upstairs, you could be, you know, helped up the stairs, and then this could be placed at the top landing and you can keep going.
I keep staring at that yellow lever there. What is that for?
This is actually a pretty nice feature. It allows you to go from free roll mode to
I like that.
not roll mode. So when
I think that scares a lot of people.
Yeah.
They think, I mean, because when you're in free roll mode, getting in and out of this can be really scary.
Yeah, and getting in and out is actually a really cool thing that we haven't talked about yet. So first of all, these both fold up. So you can fold up one, get in this side, fold it back down, which is really cool. You can also turn
Oh, just like a desk chair.
the whole chair sideways and it'll lock. So now you have it locked completely sideways. You can lock it at 45 degrees. So you could even, like, if you were hopping in and out of it quite frequently, you could just like hop in, drive a little bit, hop out if that's what you need, or go forward. You can also, I don't know why you'd need to, get out of it completely backwards. This is kind of nice because there isn't really anything there either.
So you could back it up to a bed or something.
But yeah, it goes all the way around.
Nice.
I think that that's super sweet for accessibility, and having these foldable armrests are pretty good. You can also adjust the armrests with just this little knob here.
I know, I was surprised that they gave you that with this price point.
It's about as cheaply as they could have done it, but it does work. And so you can, if that's too low, you can adjust it higher, whatever's most comfortable for you.
So let's talk about controls. We drive a lot of e-bikes and e-scooters and stuff, and they are all different with thumb throttles and stuff. How does this thing work?
This is very similar, I think, to most e-mobility devices.
Okay.
It's a nice, gentle pull, either on the right to go forward or the left to go backward.
Okay.
You also have a speed knob. I think in most indoor applications, you're going to keep that knob cranked all the way to the left, which is the slowest. That's going to be, I think, a little under 1 mile an hour. If you were going, let's say, a longer distance, or you're going for a walk with somebody, you can increase that speed. The top speed is 5 miles an hour, which is pretty decently fast.
That's a fast stroll.
That's kind of a fast stroll or a slow jog. So if you wanted to go for a run with your grandson or something, you kind of could do that.
Yeah, let me talk about the fact that I brought this over to my mom, and I thought that it would be a fail. Like, I thought she wouldn't really like it, or that she wouldn't know how to operate it. She hopped on it. Barely 5 seconds after I told her how it operates, she just starts using it. And I had it in the slowest speed, and literally like a minute later, she's like, does this thing go any faster? Turned up the speed for her, and without having to tell her how to do it, she was operating it and she felt completely comfortable, and she has never been on an e-mobility scooter. So I think what's really great about this system, if you've never dealt with it before, is there's no brake. So you don't have to worry, like normally when I'm on a scooter, there's a thumb throttle and a brake, and I have to be thinking, start, go, stop, right?
As soon as you let go of the acceleration lever, you will very quickly come to a stop. Not too quick, but that's really nice. You don't have to pull on the other side to slow down. It will just naturally come to a stop. So if for whatever reason you lose your grip, you'll just safely come to a stop. And the same is true in reverse. And the other thing about these levers is that the more you pull them, the faster you go, up to that speed limit on the knob, and that's adjustable. So if you have it cranked all the way, it's everywhere from about 1 mile an hour up to 5, or in the slowest speed, you can really go at a snail's pace.
And what I really like is that when you do engage the motor, whether you're going forward or reverse, it's not instantaneous. There's a ramp, a nice slow ramp. So you're not going to accidentally do something and then it's going to jerk around. It slowly moves forward or slowly moves backwards. All right, you're probably wondering about range. Once you get comfortable with it, you're going to want to ride it everywhere. So what is the range on this thing?
It's 12 to 15 miles. I think that's pretty good. Inside of a grocery store, that's going to be around the grocery store probably 50 times.
I mean, even a Costco, that's not going to be a problem.
know.
How do you charge it?
So here's the battery. And the battery has a charge port.
Now, do I have to pull it out to charge it?
You don't have to, but you can if you want to. So basically, of the charge port, you have something that plugs into the wall and plugs into this and charges it up.
Oh, so I could leave this on the in my SUV, but take out the battery and bring it in the house to charge it.
Right, or if this is on the ground floor and you live at the top floor and there's either an elevator or a Stairmaster type system, but you can't ride up with that, you could ride up with the battery and charge it up there. You could also leave it in place. And the nice part is there's no connecting. When you pull it out, it disconnects from the scooter itself with this little connector on the bottom. And when you put it back in, it reconnects it. Really simple.
Yeah, it takes about 6 to 8 hours to charge to full if you had completely depleted the battery, although, let's be honest, that's probably not that often. What's this little bubble on top?
That is protecting a fuse. So
Oh, it's fused.
yes, so
That's really nice. A lot of the things we review don't have fuses.
or at least fuses that you're able to get to. Having this little waterproof fuse means that if for whatever reason you are like applying too much power or whatever, it'll pop the fuse as opposed to breaking anything within the battery or motor compartment. And then whenever you need to, you can press that button and reset it. So that's something to check if the scooter mysteriously stops working.
Can I go shopping with it? Because it comes with this cool removable shopping basket.
Yes, you certainly could. Not a huge amount of space in here. It seems a little too narrow to fit like a carton of eggs. And especially once you put the eggs in there, I don't think you can really put too much on top of it besides, you know, a bag of potato chips.
Is there anywhere else that I could keep, you know, like another bag of groceries or something? Like, it doesn't seem like they've really designed it for that. It seems like this is pretty much it.
Unfortunately, I think that you're right. There's definitely solutions that you could come up with. You could hang things off of the armrests. They're not perfect solutions to this sort of problem. You could use the deck.
True.
That's kind of where your feet go, but if you wanted to have a little bag in the middle, you could do something like that with your feet either further off to the side or off to one side or the other.
And we did try with little dogs, little pets. It seems like if they get comfortable with it, they could hop up here either on the seat with you or down here and go for a ride with you. So that's kind of sweet too. As we mentioned, it can go up hills. It says up to 12 degrees. That's pretty steep, and we tested it, and well, let's just see. I mean, we were showing in the worst possible circumstance where it was dirt and stuff, but I do think that if it was like a ramp and stuff, this won't really have a problem. So you're probably thinking about like those walking ramps where, you know, it's not that steep. I think this is going to do just fine, like walking paths that go over roads and stuff like that. Talk to me about lighting. Can you ride this thing at night?
Yes, it has a pretty darn bright headlight. It's very easy to turn on and off. There's just a simple button. So very quickly you can get a nice bright headlight. This is bright enough to drive at night with on a new moon with no other lights visible. You could, in a pitch dark basement, you could be riding around in the dark.
Well, and we did ride it in a pitch dark basement.
Exactly.
So if you're wondering about if you can leave it out in the rain, well, it's IPX4, which is light rain. So only, I would say, for a few minutes while you're, you know, carrying groceries, I would not leave this thing outside as your regular thing because it will break.
And I would not drive it through a rainstorm.
Right.
It's just not designed for this.
Right, it can handle a light sprinkler or light rain, but it really isn't, in my opinion, designed for anything more than that.
And you can just see it in the construction, but it also keeps the price a heck of a lot lower.
Right. And it comes with a 12-month warranty. So let's get to the pros and cons here. I really went into this thinking that this would be a joke and a toy, and I walked away being very impressed. Do I think it's something that you will have for years and years and years? Probably not. I don't think the construction is good enough for that, but I think that for occasional use, and especially if you're not sure that you need one or want one, this would be a really good budget buy, because then if you fall in love with it and you're like, I'm going to use this thing every day, okay, great, ride it till it dies, and then buy something that's even better with more suspension and more comfort and so forth, because you know you'll use it. And maybe it will last longer than I think.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with the price range on this. I think that is probably its biggest, best feature. That and the lightweight construction. I think that the ability for not necessarily a person riding it, but probably their significant other, there is a possibility that they are going to be able to handle this in and out of an SUV, possibly even fit it in the trunk of a sedan. It's just so small. It's about as small as I could possibly imagine a mobility scooter getting to, that I'm very excited that it could unlock a lot of possibilities for people.
Little hack here would be, if you're not sure if you need one or will like it, go to a mall, go to most grocery stores, and you probably may not have noticed this before, but they're so ubiquitous, they're probably right there. Hop in one.
Yeah.
Ride around the store, do your shopping, see how you like it, see what you like and don't, and that will help you decide whether this might be something for you. And then lastly, I would say as we wrap up here, make sure that you like and subscribe. We're gonna hopefully be getting a four-wheeled version of this. If you'd like us to do that, please comment down below. Please subscribe so that we can get the manufacturer to send us one, because I would like to know, what's the difference? Why would I want a four-wheel versus a three-wheel? So if you'd like that too, hit the bell button so you'll be notified when we come out with that, and let us know down in the comments. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this. Let us know if you have any questions in the comments, and we'll see you next time on Now Let's Review.